At that time, all the senses of the world-honored one radiated joy, his entire body appeared serene and glorious, and his august countenance looked most majestic. Having perceived the Buddha's holy intention, the Venerable Ananda rose from his seat, bared his right shoulder, prostrated himself, and joining his palms in reverence, said to the Buddha, "World-honored one, today all your senses are radiant with joy, your body is serene and glorious, and your august countenance is as majestic as a clear mirror whose brightness radiates outward and inward. The magnificence of your dignified appearance is unsurpassed and beyond measure. I have never seen you look so superb and majestic as today. With respect, great sage, this thought has occurred to me. Today, the world-honored one dwells in the rare and marvelous Dharma. Today, the world hero dwells in the Buddha's abode. Today, the world eye concentrates on the performance of the leader's duty. Today, the world valiant one dwells in the supreme Bodhi. Today, the one most honored in heaven realizes the Tathagata's virtue. The Buddhas of the past, present and future contemplate each other. How can this present Buddha not contemplate all other Buddhas? For what reason does his countenance look so majestic and brilliant?" Then the world-honored one said to Ananda, "Tell me, Ananda, whether some god urged you to put this question to the Buddha, or whether you asked about his glorious countenance from your own wise observation." Ananda replied to the Buddha, "No god came to prompt me. I asked you about this matter of my own accord." The Buddha said, "Well said, Ananda. I am very pleased with your question. You have shown profound wisdom and subtle insight in asking me this wise question out of compassion for sentient beings. As the Tathagata, I regard beings of the three worlds with boundless great compassion. The reason for my appearance in the world is to reveal teachings of the way, and save multitudes of beings by endowing them with true benefits. Even in countless millions of kalpas it is difficult to come upon and meet a Tathagata. It is as difficult as seeing an Udambara flower, which blooms very rarely. Your question is of great benefit and will enlighten all heavenly and human beings. Ananda, you should realize that the Tathagata's perfectly enlightened wisdom is unfathomable, capable of leading innumerable beings to emancipation, and that his penetrating insight cannot be obstructed. With just one meal, he is able to live for 100,000 kotis of kalpas, or an incalculable and immeasurable length of time, or beyond. Even after that lapse of time, his senses will still be radiant with joy and show no signs of deterioration. His appearance will not change, and his august countenance will look just the same. The reason for this is that the Tathagata's meditation and wisdom are perfect and boundless, and that he has attained unrestricted power over all dharmas. Ananda, listen carefully. I shall now expound the Dharma." Ananda replied, "Yes, I will. With joy in my heart, I wish to hear the Dharma." The Buddha said to Ananda, "In the distant past, innumerable, incalculable and inconceivable kalpas ago, a Tathagata named Dipānkara appeared in the world. Having taught and freed innumerable beings and led them all along the path of enlightenment, he passed into nirvana. Next appeared a Tathagata named Far-Reaching Light. After him came Moonlight, and then Sandalwood Incense, King of Beautiful Mountains, Crown of Mount Sumeru, Brilliant like Mount Sumeru, Color of the Moon, Right Recollection, Free of Defilement, Non-Attachment, Dragon Deva, Nocturnal Light, Peaceful and Brilliant Peak, Immovable Ground, Exquisite Beryl Flower, Golden Beryl Luster, Gold Treasury, Flaming Light, Fiery Origin, Earth-Shaking, Image of the Moon, Sound of the Sun, Flower of Freedom, Glorious Light, Miraculous Power of the Ocean of Enlightenment, Water Light, Great Fragrance, Free of Dust and Defilement, Abandoning Enmity, Flame of jewels. Beautiful peak. Heroic stance. Merit-possessing wisdom. Outshining the sun and the moon. Beryl light of the sun and the moon. Supreme beryl light. Highest peak. Flower of enlightenment. Brightness of the moon. Sunlight. King of the colors of flowers. Moonlight on the water. Dispelling the darkness of ignorance. Practice of removing hindrances. Pure faith. Storage of good. Majestic glory. Wisdom of the Dharma. Call of the phoenix. Roar of the lion. Voice of the dragon. And dwelling in the world. All these Buddhas have already passed into nirvana. Then appeared a Buddha named Lokshvaraja, the Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly enlightened one, possessed of wisdom and practice, perfected one, knower of the world, unsurpassed one, tamer of men, master of gods and men, Buddha and world-honored one. At that time there was a king, who, having heard the Buddha's exposition of the Dharma, rejoiced in his heart and awakened aspiration for the highest, perfect enlightenment. He renounced his kingdom and the throne, and became a monk named Dharmakara. Having superior intelligence, courage and wisdom, he distinguished himself in the world. He went to see the Tathagata Lokshvaraja, knelt down at his feet, walked round him 3 times keeping him always on his right, prostrated himself on the ground, and putting his palms together in worship, praised the Buddha with these verses. The shining face of the Buddha is glorious. Boundless is his magnificence. Radiant splendor such as his is beyond all comparison. The sun, the moon and the Mani jewel, though shining with dazzling brightness, are completely dimmed and obscured, as if they were a pile of ink sticks. The countenance of the Tathagata is beyond compare in the whole world. The great voice of the Enlightened One resounds throughout the 10 regions. His morality, learning, endeavor, absorption in meditation, wisdom, and magnificent virtues have no equal. They are wonderful and unsurpassed. He meditates deeply and directly on the oceanic Dharma of all the Buddhas. He knows its depth and breadth, and penetrates to its farthest end. Ignorance, greed and anger are forever absent in the world-honored one. He is the lion, the most valiant of all men. His glorious virtue is unlimited. His meritorious achievements are vast. His wisdom is deep and sublime. His light, with awe-inspiring glory, shakes the universe of 1,000 million worlds. I resolve to become a Buddha, equal in attainment to you, O Holy King of the Dharma, to save living beings from birth and death, and to lead them all to emancipation. My discipline in giving, mind control, moral virtues, forbearance and effort, and also in meditation and wisdom, shall be supreme and unsurpassed. I vow that, when I have become a Buddha, I shall carry out this promise everywhere, and to all fear-ridden beings shall I give great peace. Even though there are Buddhas, 1,000 million kotis in number, and multitudes of great sages, countless as the sands of the Ganges, I shall make offerings. To all those Buddhas, I shall seek the supreme way, resolutely and tirelessly. Even though the Buddha lands are as innumerable as the sands of the Ganges, and other regions and worlds are also without number, my light shall shine everywhere, pervading all those lands. Such being the result of my efforts, my glorious power shall be immeasurable. When I have become a Buddha, my land shall be most exquisite, and its people wonderful and unexcelled. The seat of enlightenment shall be supreme. My land, being like nirvana itself, shall be beyond comparison. I take pity on living beings, and resolve to save them all. Those who come from the 10 quarters shall find joy and serenity of heart. When they reach my land, they shall dwell in peace and happiness. I beg you, the Buddha, to become my witness, and to vouch for the truth of my aspiration. Having now made my vows to you, I will strive to fulfill them. The world-honored ones in the 10 quarters have unimpeded wisdom. I call upon those honored ones to bear witness to my intention. Even though I must remain in a state of extreme pain, I will diligently practice, enduring all hardships with tireless vigor." The Buddha said to Ananda. Having spoken these verses, the Bhikshu Dharmakara said to the Buddha Lokshvara, "Respectfully, world-honored one, I announce that I have awakened aspiration for the highest, perfect enlightenment. I beseech you to explain the Dharma to me fully, so that I can perform practices for the establishment of a pure Buddha land adorned with infinite excellent qualities. So please teach me how to attain enlightenment quickly and to remove the roots of afflictions of birth and death for all." The Buddha said to Ananda. At that time the Buddha Lokshvara replied to the Bhikshu Dharmakara, "You yourself should know by what practice you can establish a glorious Buddha land." The Bhikshu said to the Buddha, "That is far too vast and deep for my comprehension. I sincerely beseech you, world-honored one, to explain in detail the practices by which Buddhas, Tathagatas, establish their pure lands. After I hear that, I wish to practice as instructed and so fulfill my aspirations." At that time the Buddha Lokshvara recognized the Bhikshu Dharmakara's noble and high aspirations, and taught him as follows. If, for example, one keeps on bailing water out of a great ocean with a pint measure, one will be able to reach the bottom after many kalpas, and then obtain rare treasures. Likewise, if one sincerely, diligently and unceasingly seeks the way, one will be able to reach one's destination. What vow is there which cannot be fulfilled? Then the Buddha Lokshvara explained in detail the greater and lesser aspects of 210 kotas of Buddha lands, together with the good and evil natures of heavenly and human beings living there. He revealed them all to the Bhikshu just as he had requested. Then the Bhikshu, having heard the Buddha's exposition of the glorious Pure Land, and also having seen all of them, resolved upon his supreme, unsurpassed vows. His mind being serene, and his aspirations free of attachment, he was unexcelled throughout the world. For 5 full kalpas he contemplated the vows, and then chose the pure practices for the establishment of his Buddha land. Ananda asked the Buddha, how long was the lifespan of beings in the land of the Buddha Lokshvara? The Buddha replied, the length of life of that Buddha was 42 kalpas. He continued, after that Dharmakara Bodhisattva adopted the pure practices, which had led to the establishment of the excellent lands of 210 kotas of Buddhas. When he had finished this task, he went to the Buddha, knelt down at his feet, walked round him 3 times, joined his palms in worship and sat down. He then said to the Buddha, I have adopted the pure practices for the establishment of a glorious Buddha land. The Buddha said to him, you should proclaim this. Know that now is the right time. Encourage and delight the entire assembly. Hearing this, other bodhisattvas will practice this dharma and so fulfill their innumerable great vows. The Bhikshu replied, I beg you to grant me your attention. Now I will fully proclaim my vows.